Wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning. Oh, how are you doing today, Coach?
I think I'm doing good. I miss the
Yeah?
sun. I miss the sun, but I'm doing good.
Sun
How
is
about
gone
you?
here. Yeah, the sun is not out here, and it is kind of depressing. I'm going to fix my mic here. Hold on,
Yep,
please.
I'm
Hold, please.
sharing. I'm sharing like
Good. See, I
everyone
bought you
else
some
should be.
time. Bought you some
Everyone
time
else
there.
everyone else should share on their video on their own to
Yes.
share
Oh, I
what the
forgot to put my
word,
watch on.
right?
Yeah,
Oh,
squirrel. I
yep,
forgot.
squirrel.
I saw my arm in my live over here, and my watch is gone.
What are you
Good
gonna
morning,
do with yourself?
everybody. How is everybody this morning? Are we good? I know a lot of our listeners today have just joined the Carnivore Challenge, and we have
Yay!
60 in that group that
I
started at 6 a.m. this morning.
yes, that's
Whew.
exciting.
How are you
I'm
feeling about it?
excited for them.
You had a little bit of head start. Now, were you
Yeah.
completely carnivore? I know you gave up dairy, but were you completely carnivore
Oh,
before today, or did you kind of just get rid of dairy first?
Well, I got rid of dairy and I would eat some tomatoes from my
Okay.
garden. I haven't been
Okay.
out there for a while, so it looks like I won't be eating any more of those.
Nope. Those
And I
days
had
are done.
one more zucchini that came in and I still didn't get to eat that. So somebody
Uh-huh.
else out there that's near me, you might want my tomatoes. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I that's all I would have. And for the most part, it was all and I did some like sauces like mustard
Mm-hmm.
on some things, mustard and sometimes just sugar-free barbecue when I was just not feeling it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
You know what I
today
mean?
I do. I do. I started yesterday. I always want to be just a little bit ahead of clients just so that I can. Oh, hi, good morning, Clark.
Hey, Clark, and he's gonna
Is,
bark.
is
Hold
that
on.
is the mailman here? Oh, I like to try to be just a little bit ahead of clients on how I'm feeling. And I woke up this morning a little bit, a little bit headachy. So I this morning, if you see me looking at this beautiful piece of rock here, this is my Redmond sea salt. I had a headache this morning. I'm like, oh gosh, it's amazing how even being strict keto
Yes.
and going carnivore, how your body just is like, no, we're going to get rid of all of these toxins that you put in us all summer. And so I'm depending on my Redmond sea salt this
Yes.
morning because headache is definitely present. But yeah, we're excited. We've got 60 people in our challenge, and these are 60 really serious people.
Yeah.
And they've been chomping at the bit. They've been excited. I did notice I was scoping out people's Facebook pages yesterday, and I saw a lot of people trying to finish all their salad in their refrigerators, and myself included.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's kinda
so
goes alongside my tomatoes. Like, they're still growing and turning green. Well, they're not really turning red right now because the sun has not been available, for
yeah,
a couple days, but yeah, I'm gonna have to toss those over to
yeah.
somebody else, maybe in my neighbor's yard.
Yeah, I'm excited though because the mental health aspect alone is just it's just priceless. I was
Yeah.
listening this morning to this YouTube of this woman who she has a practice that is strictly carnivore, and she was talking about how 90% of dopamine and serotonin, which is the feel good hormone that people in America are lacking, 90% is made in your gut, and healthy
90%?
90%. I mean, it
Wow.
just totally explains why we have a mental health crisis in our country, because the bad gut bacteria that kill the serotonin and dopamine are made from sugar and carbs. And the good bacteria that feed the brain, the ketones and the dopamine and serotonin, those are made from proteins and fats. I mean, you just can't unsee it when you
Yeah.
look at the mental health crisis that we are experiencing in our country. It is just really telling because we just live on sugar and carbs, and so
Mm-hmm.
it was a really good. In the point of the podcast this morning, or the video that I was watching, was why cheat days are so bad. Everybody's
Mm.
like, cheat days this, cheat day that, cheat days that, and she was
Live a
explaining,
little.
yeah, how this stuff and this gut bacteria can live in your gut for 2 years. And so she
Ah.
was explaining the waves of what our clients are going to be going through in the next couple of weeks. We call it Hell Week, actually. And I
Yeah.
think to myself, if I'm feeling this really bad, this really bad, if I'm feeling this bad now, can you imagine what our clients who are jumping in?
Yeah.
Whoa. So
Yeah. There's
anyway,
definitely a lot of phases in this lifestyle, which makes
yeah.
me, some people that want to jump in on the bandwagon of
Mm.
carnivore and keto, and they're doing it on their own
Oh
and have
gosh.
no idea. Like, they think that they're doing something wrong,
Yeah.
or they're like, oh, well, they then resort to their old ways if they
Yeah.
have a headache of, oh, I just need Tylenol, blah, blah, blah. No,
Yeah.
there's other things that it's helpful to have people that have gone through this
Yeah.
and know the phases,
Yeah.
and you may not experience all of them. Like, you
Mhm.
may, I mean, I think I definitely had a headache, but it wasn't like as, it was, I think it
Yeah.
was more the weather related headache,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, you
Well,
just,
then I was talking to somebody on Sunday who was really knocking the ketogenic lifestyle, and she was saying, "Well, I just feel bad when I don't have my carbs. I just feel bad." Well, of course you just feel bad because that's your body telling you it's
withdraw.
detoxing, it's withdrawal, and you go in and out and in and out. Of course you're going to feel like crap. And so you're
Yeah.
doing it to yourself when you keep feeding. There's the 6-day mark, where we talk about the pink cloud, and the euphoria that comes around day 6. So if you're in our carnivore challenge, hold on, hold on. Day 1 through day 4 is hell. Not going to lie to you, it's hell. But if
Not
you
fun.
compromise and you give in, you're going to go through it over and over and over. Rip off the Band-Aid, get those toxins out of your body, and look forward to day 6 of where
Yep,
you're like, hey, coach, I think there is hope.
absolutely.
So, if
And
you
then
did not join the carnivore challenge, I was just talking to Coach Darcy. We shut off enrollment at midnight last night. If you are hearing this right now, and it's day 1 and it's before 6 p.m., it is possible that you can talk us into letting you to opening the doors again, because you will have only missed one email that came out at 6 a.m. this morning, which is the curriculum. It's actually what we're doing. And tonight, we have our first live session, and I don't want any newbies in after our first live session because we are going over the meat and no
everything.
potatoes tonight.
Yeah.
so
Look at
that's
you.
the
Look
official
at you.
cutoff. If you get in before the live session tonight, then we'll let you in. After that, we're closed. It's too much work for me to explain all of it again, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
So, what are we talking about today, coach?
oh, I was thinking we could talk about something that is near and dear to our hearts,
Mhm.
because we are coaches who want to fire our clients and never see them again. And
In a good way.
in a
Firing in a
good
good way.
way. The
Like,
only way we want to see you come back is when you coach for us.
yeah,
Um,
basically, like, when somebody fires you, then you get to have that payment afterwards, right? Like,
yeah,
what is that called? An incentive, or I don't know what it's called, because 'cause I've
yeah,
never
the
really had to
incentive. Yeah,
but
I did an interview with a new coach yesterday. It was kind of awesome. So we've got. By the way, here's a shameless plug for our other company. Um, right now, if you look at the political world around us, if you look at people waking up, I mean, just the just the people questioning their doctors alone, just saying, "Hey, you're handing me another pill. What is this for? Why do you want me to take it? They're starting to not blindly follow their doctors, right? So just that impact alone, along with the new conversation that's being had. You were talking about what were you talking about with the vegans going to Washington D.C. or something?
Vegetarians.
Vegetarians. Yeah.
Plant-based
Plant-based.
people. Yeah, there's a lot of a big movement
Mm-hmm.
within this, just the health community in general, because there was some carnivores pairing up with the vegetarians. That's
Yeah.
kind of like it's
Yeah.
a wake up call where we are just
The
focused
enemy of my
on,
enemy is my friend.
yes, right now. And
Yeah.
we're all making this statement of stop putting crap in our soil, stop putting crap in our
Yeah.
food, and stop trying to feed our children poisons,
Mm-hmm.
um, and warp our brains with the poisons. Like,
Yeah.
they're comparison of other countries, which is this is factual stuff, y'all. This is
Yeah.
not like, oh, I need to go fact check this. No, it's legit. They have certain chemicals and poisons that are banned in other countries, majority of the other countries. And yeah, like, so there's like this big movement that's happening.
Yeah.
I believe that Casey means is
Yeah.
Casey or
Casey or
Callie.
Callie. Yeah.
Callie means is on in this movement in the political world, and they're
Yeah.
taking this information in front
To our
of our
lawmakers.
politicians.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're stating their the facts, and so there's been a lot of like, we're
Yeah.
joining forces because we're so done with our foods being warped and manipulated, and
We have a
act like
common
everything's okay, and it's not okay.
Yeah, we have a
Not.
common enemy, no
Yeah.
matter what lifestyle. If you are whole foods, we can work with a keto vegetarian. If you don't eat meat, we can work with any kind of lifestyle. If you're not a food addict, if you're a food addict, some of those lifestyles hurt you, and you know that. But the common enemy is toxins and politicians who want to take shortcuts. And I was watching a video from RFK the other day just about, and he said, I could do this to every single dye, but he just did the one on yellow dye.
Yeah.
And it's like coolant for your car. And
Mhm.
all it does is make your food brighter and more yellow. And yet it's like antifreeze. It's the same combination as antifreeze. And so the common enemy is toxins. And I'll stand with anybody who is going to be willing to go to Washington to talk to my congressman about the dangers of what they're
Yeah.
allowing in our food system that we have no control over. We're literally, when you walk down that cereal aisle, you are choosing to pick up these Fruit Loops with antifreeze in them. It's a choice. You're going down the aisle and feeding it to your kids or yourself, for God's sakes.
Yes.
You're feeding it to yourself just because. And that was a wake-up call for me. And I believe it was on that same video with RFK talking about, and it might have been a different one. It was a woman who was testifying before Congress that day. And she said in Canada, and I would love to get some food labels from Canada. If you're in Canada and would be willing to send us some food labels from your country, I would love that, because they flavored their Fruit Loops with blueberry and watermelon. Real fruit.
Real food.
No dyes, right?
What?
It's illegal over there. Why the heck are we poisoning our country? Why are we doing?
It's like we're afraid that if our foods are not colorful and bright, that we won't eat and we'll starve to death.
Mm-hmm. It's the truth. It's the truth. And we don't have a choice. We were talking, before the session today about the frustration of parenting, and the frustration of that reality of the kids already knowing what this is, and how it makes it so difficult, and how I've already screwed up my kids. And I don't get a do-over, so I can be a little bit more vocal than you because I already screwed them up, and if I had it to do over again, we would have done it completely different. I would have gotten off my lazy butt and not gone through the drive-through. I would have gotten off my lazy butt and not ordered pizza 3 times a week. I was lazy. That was my thing. I was tired and I was lazy. and I was struggling with mental health. I was just struggling with depression because I was not feeding myself correctly. Had I been feeding myself correctly, maybe I would have gotten off the couch and cooked for my kids. I didn't.
Right.
I was a horrible mom. And if I had a do-over, I would do it again. I don't. So now I stand in front of this microphone and
Well,
sadly say,
everything
please don't screw up your kids.
everything is a learning curve. Like, and that's why I
Mhm.
love, yes, you might say that
Right.
were a horrible mom and you were a failure, but that failure has helped you in this
Exactly.
long haul.
And
So
my kids
don't,
are adults and they can
yeah,
make their own decisions now,
right,
and they can
right,
choose to poison themselves or they can choose to be healthy. None
right.
of them watch my podcast, so I can say that.
I mean,
Oh gosh.
I don't know.
So the topic of our conversation today is the conversation. There has never been a more exciting time to become a health coach in this space, because now we have the attention of our lawmakers. Now we have the attention of people who are like, "Wait a minute. I waited until I got a diagnosis before I changed my lifestyle. Maybe my kids don't have to." So if you're ever interested in becoming a health coach, we are one of the, I think there's 3 companies who certify ketogenic lifestyle coaches. And why would you become certified? Because what if you want to coach paleo, or what if you want to coach, Mediterranean or something like that? You absolutely can, but your foundational coaching comes from the ketogenic lifestyle, because that's the most, actually carnivore is the most restrictive keto,
Yeah,
and so you
yeah,
want a foundation of understanding why the foods impact us the way they do. What does carbs and sugar do to our bodies? And so the foundational certification is the ketogenic coaching. And I am getting ready to do an addendum to our coaching practice that includes carnivore coaching as well, and a certification for that. So I'm working on doing that right now currently. But if you ever want to become a life changer, go through the certification, get your certification. You can start your own company. And let me tell you, you can cross the 6-figure line and you can coach full time. I do it. Right. And so it is possible to do that. A lot of hard work, as coach knows, a lot of hard work. You sit in the pit every day with hurting
yeah.
people. And it's the best thing I get to do every day. It's the best thing I get to do. So if you're interested, I dropped the link to become a coach in there. But our topic of the day, that's what you asked me in the first place. I don't even know how we got in the conversation of coaching. Weight regain. That is probably the most passionate thing that I feel as a coach. Is when somebody comes to us and says, "I want to lose weight to get in a wedding dress." I hate those words. Hate those words because I know what that means. When you put an end date, and when you put an ultimate goal, an ultimate number, an ultimate goal, an ultimate piece of clothing, you're going to regain the weight back. So we've got a situation right now where people are taking the GLP-1 shot. They are starving themselves. They're going through these companies, and we released the picture last week of how much those companies are. They lose the weight, as you said last week. Those things work. However, the weight regain is coming back 5 pounds at a time. And even you and I struggled last year, right?
Mhm.
We struggled. I'll talk for myself. I'm talk for you. I
You just
struggled
looked
last
at me
year.
and said I struggled.
I struggled. I did. Because I allowed some things back into my lifestyle that were not serving me well. And so today we're going to talk about weight regain, how it happens, why it happens, and how to stop it. Okay?
Mhm.
That's our number one mission as a coaching team, is how do we get our clients to lose the weight and to keep it off? So, do you want to take this conversation, shoot it somewhere, and I will catch it wherever you shoot it?
All right. Well, I'll start at my beginning.
Mhm.
So, during when I joined the program, I was very hardcore focused, set my mind to losing the weight.
Yeah.
We talked about the end date. I didn't really have an end date. I just knew something needed to change.
Yeah.
I lost my weight. My lowest that I was, what it was a good weight, But then
Mhm.
as I hit that goal weight, I did things in the incorrect way where I, didn't focus on the maintenance world. Like that was
Mhm.
a world that I wasn't sure about. So had I done things over again, I would have um focused on my maintenance to
Mhm.
maintain that weight. But instead, I started to add, the keto sweet treats, things
Yep.
like that. I
Yep.
added those things back in and I didn't moderate
Yeah.
because in my head, like, oh, these are still keto. And I was also mentally,
Mhm.
trying to uh, I, basically balance where I
Mhm.
was addicted to something new. Like
Yeah.
I did the addiction
Totally.
replacement.
Mhm.
Like I made those eclairs that I used to make.
Yes.
I knew they were my house. I knew they
Yeah.
were there and I would eat them. I would not
But they
just
were
eat
called
one.
keto, so they
They
were
were
okay.
keto and they were
Right.
healthy.
Right.
They were good, but in the end, like I knew they were there. And then since I would limit myself to maybe 4 and they were small
Mhm.
little things,
Yeah.
knew that they were there the next time,
Yeah.
the next day. And so I would always try to share with Mark, but Mark was better at like not
Yeah.
eating them to the point where
Men
they just
yeah, men are like
let
that.
it go bad. Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. I
Mhm.
could have put it in the freezer, but I
Well, they
didn't.
are
Like
very expensive. They're
they are
very
expensive.
expensive.
There's
You
so
are being
many things.
fiscally responsible.
That's what I was telling myself. But those types of things started to build up,
Yeah.
and then I got to this place where my body was at a set point,
Yeah.
and it was not a place that I wanted it to be. I felt extra inflammation, things
Mhm.
like that started
Yeah.
to build up over the years, and I gained like about 10 pounds from that.
Mhm. Yeah.
I could not get, even with fasting, no matter what I did.
Mhm.
That's where the mental game came into play, and I was sorry, I just ran over Clark. Sorry. Um, but that's where the mental part was really straining on me. I felt like
Right.
a failure. I felt as a
Right.
coach as a fraud. But I was still eating keto. You would not catch me not eating keto. You would
Right.
not. That I
Right.
ate what I ate, and it was just that my leptin and ghrelin
Yeah.
hormones would not turn off, and I was just
Right.
constantly having a snack, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey,
but
Do you know Terrell?
Are we naming him Terrell now?
Terrell. I love him. I love him. We don't have the
Is this
same
Terrell or it's not Terrence? Who is it?
Terrence. It might be Terrence. Yeah,
I
Terrence.
don't even know.
He said
We name
something yesterday.
we name everybody Terrence.
Terrence. I love Terrence. He said we don't have a weight loss problem. We have a weight gaining problem. And that is so
Yes,
like
that's so true. We do.
we lost
And
the weight easily.
yes, any product, anything that you do, you
Mhm.
will you when you set your mind to it, yeah, you're going to lose the
Mhm.
weight.
Mhm.
But how are you going to stay there and be in
Right.
maintenance? How are you
Right.
not going to gain weight? The biggest question is how are you going to get to that maintenance area and not be so hard on yourself if you gain a pound or two? Like your
Mhm.
weight is fluctuating. It does that all the time. So how are you mentally going to tell yourself to be like, that was my old me where I was so concerned about gaining weight or how I felt and how I looked, feel, all those
Mhm.
things, the mental trauma that we go through when we are at our highest point to
Mhm.
then when we're at our maintenance and being okay with
Yeah.
fluctuating between, 1 or 5 pounds. Like
And
that's
this
that.
is why people are regaining the weight on the shot because they're not
Yeah.
healing. They're not doing what you're saying. You've got
Right.
to heal the brain. You've
Yes.
got to heal the brain. And you're not
Yes.
doing that because the weight is falling off. You are still eating the way you used to. You're just not eating as much.
Yeah.
And you think everything's fine. And the minute you take that shot down, the minute you come off of that shot. So if you have 1,000, 1,500 a month to spend for the rest of your life, go for it. You do
Yeah.
you. But if you don't, you got to realize there's a science behind why that it's not your fault. A lot of these poor women think that when they gain the weight back after being on these shots in this Optavia company, why it's my fault. I did something wrong. Literally, you didn't do anything wrong. It's science. It's numbers.
Yeah.
It's the metabolic adaptation that happened when you were on the shot, when you didn't want to eat, your entire plate of food. Well, suddenly when you come off the shot and when you stop buying their products, you're starving. You are
Yeah.
like ravenous. And so you eat a normal meal, even if it's a healthy meal, you eat a 1,200 calorie day, you're gaining weight. It's
Yeah.
just math. It's not your fault. Stop beating yourself up. It's not your
Right.
fault.
Right. So
I
taking
saw
it,
when you were talking, I saw muscles. You got muscles.
I
What's
went to
up
the
with
gym
that?
yesterday.
Yesterday,
Got
you got
5 kids.
those.
I got
You
this
got
yesterday.
good job.
Let me just flex for you,
Good
show you my
job.
muscles. Thanks. Hey, listen,
Oh,
when you pinch your back and you can't move and you can't go to the gym, this is why I love my lifestyle
uh-huh.
because I know that I might lose my muscle mass, but I can go
Happens.
back to the gym later and I'm not
Yeah,
gaining weight, but I'm going to gain my
happens in the
muscles. You can
kitchen.
see that.
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to admire that for a second.
Thanks. Thanks. It's a lot of work, but the
Yeah.
point my
Carry on.
point my
Carry on.
point of all of this was, you know, I think it's okay for us to be in a certain set point when you are focused on health.
Hmm.
Me, I was fixated on health, making sure that I was detoxing my gut, giving my gut
Hmm.
the things I needed, and then I was able to get back into work. And that's where
Hmm.
the carnivore came in. Like fasting wasn't cutting it for me,
No.
and keto was fine.
Hmm.
I love keto. That
Yeah.
works for me. But I had to get serious, and
Yeah.
so that's where the carnivore came into play.
Yeah.
That's when I was allowing my ghrelin and leptin hormones to actually work.
Hmm.
I haven't had breakfast this morning, and I'm satisfied. Like
Hmm.
I'm starting to get hungry, but I know I only
Hmm.
have 4 eggs left, so I gotta go
Oh,
grocery shopping.
you got to monitor those.
I
You
gotta
need
monitor those.
chickens.
I
You
do.
need chickens. I don't know why you don't. You live in the country.
I live with my husband.
Yeah, but you
There's a
you
lot of
could
things.
really we could put a presentation together on Canva that we could convince him to get chickens. I would do that. I'd totally do that if I
Try it.
was
You
not.
try it. That's your challenge. You challenge him. He's pretty stubborn.
Yeah, yeah.
We like to support other egg dealers,
Okay.
basically. Like
Okay.
we are able to support egg dealers, and
$20 I paid for eggs last week. We get the box from Walmart. It's
yes.
awful.
Well, if I'm gonna
Oh,
spend a good quality amount, it's gonna be from my local farmers.
yeah.
And by the way, if you're like, oh, I wish I had egg dealers around me,
Yeah.
have you ever checked on Facebook? There's a lot of people
Yeah.
raising chickens right now.
Yeah. Right.
Just
There
kind of
is.
putting that out there, saying, hey, anybody interested in being my egg dealer?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Say it just like that.
So let me talk in perspective of
Yes.
of
That
a food
squirrel.
addict.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
squirrel.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Let me talk in perspective of being a food addict. So 90%, 1 out of 3 people struggle with food, carbohydrate, ultra processed food addiction. It's in our food. We've been
So
chemically
good.
altered to be food addicts. And so yesterday it was very interesting. So you realize things when you give things up, you realize what you've allowed and how you've gotten a little bit loose in your lifestyle because we're keto coaches, we're supposed to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
That's what I tell myself. We're not supposed to cheat, we're not supposed to go off plan, we're not supposed to have any troubles at all because we are keto coaches. We have a certificate on the wall right here that tells us we're to be perfect.
That's right.
That was a joke.
That's mine. That's mine right there.
However, what I noticed yesterday, I will always be a food addict. I will always, whether I am addicted to ultra processed sugar, whether I am addicted to keto sweets, I will always be a food addict. Those sweet things wake up my addict brain, and the addict brain starts to speak. If you question if you are, follow me on my journey.
Yeah.
So, yesterday, I was in between clients. I had back-to-back clients. Mondays are my busy client days. So I had a half hour in between clients, and I knew I had a keto bar in the kitchen. That's literally, and yesterday I went completely 100% carnivore. All I could think about all day yesterday was that keto bar. I knew it was 150 calories. I knew it fitted my macros. I knew my addict brain yelled and screamed all day long. I had 4 eggs for breakfast. I was so physically stuffed, I couldn't think. I couldn't think about anything else except, oh my gosh, I'm so stuffed. It was a wrestling match all day yesterday because my addict brain had been woken up, and that's all I could think about was that nice keto treat that was out in the kitchen. And I told my food addiction support group last night, I said, sometimes because I have all the food addicts check in my treatment center. They check in with me every day. They check in with each other every day. And they say, just for today, I'm going to remain abstinent. That's their
Yep.
assignment. And I told the group last night, I said, sometimes it is before lunch today, I am going to remain abstinent. That was how hard it was for me yesterday. I made it. Just for today, before lunch, I am going to remain abstinent. Came back at supper time. Just for today, before supper, I'm going to remain abstinent. Before bed, I will remain abstinent. And you know what I did? Yesterday, I remained abstinent and it was complete carnivore. Now, today I woke up, that noise is a little bit less. I know it's still out there. Now, what I should do as a smart coach is I should go into that cupboard and I should throw those things in the trash. That's what I should
Mhm.
do, right? And I look at the price tag on the box and I'm like,
Then
how
you're
in the
like,
world?
I'm gonna save this for
Yeah.
later. Lock
So
it up.
if you're a food addict, that never goes away. I
Yeah.
don't care. I am 7.5 years in recovery. Not in remission yet. I'm still in recovery. It's still gnaws at my mind every night. So if you're a food addict,
Mhm.
you have to take a little bit of a different route.
Yeah.
So,
You know what
um,
mine was yesterday? Can I share that real quick?
yes, yes.
Because I'm day 37 into
Mhm.
carnivore right now, and I was sitting there and thinking, if anything, I could just sit with a jar of peanut butter and eat the whole
Oh,
thing. I think I
yeah,
could.
yeah. Isn't that
And
crazy?
yeah, then as I was as in mentally, so this is bizarre. Maybe you can analyze this. I was mentally imagining myself sitting
Mhm.
on my couch and
Yeah,
eating a
yeah,
whole jar of peanut butter, and I physically got sick. Like, I
yeah,
could not. I'm like, there's no, I wouldn't be able to eat a whole entire
yeah.
peanut butter jar because that would be terrible.
But you
And
yeah, the addict brain played
it
that movie for you
it
in your
did.
mind.
I did.
Call it
So
the Red Dog too. Yeah,
yeah.
it
But,
is
like, I
powerful.
would love to have a spoonful of peanut butter right now other than but
Yeah,
that just goes to show you that, I would not have called myself a food
right,
addict, like,
right,
a couple years ago,
right.
right? As I have gone in through my journey, I see
Mhm,
more and more signs of me being a food addict
mhm.
than I would have given
Yeah,
myself credit for.
yeah.
And I think sometimes it takes certain people, like, because 'cause we're all
Mhm,
different. We're created differently.
mhm,
You're molded and mended differently. So our approach is going to be my approach is not the same as Monica's.
mhm.
Monica's approach is not like mine, but there's similarities that
Right.
we have to cross over
Yeah,
and figure out what works best for us.
yeah.
And even when certain things start to arise, like
Mhm.
when they arise, it
Yeah,
might take a little bit longer than somebody else knowing that they have a food addiction,
yeah.
um,
Might
and what
take a
they need to
mid-course
do.
correction, might
Absolutely.
you may be into your weight loss journey and find something's not working. That's why we do the individual coaching and that no two programs are the same in our program because you may have to do a mid-course correction and you may have to figure out, "Oh my gosh, this is not serving me well." At first, I needed that transitional keto food, but I'm a food addict and I have now relied on that new addiction, and so
Yeah.
that is not serving me well. Alcohol was that way
Addiction
with me.
transfer, is that what it's called?
Addiction transfer, absolutely.
Yeah.
Angie is completely right here when she says losing and maintaining weight is about the mind. Just as Christians are able to take their thoughts captive and repentance is a change of mind in direction, we can apply those concepts. So, yeah, you can actually say, okay, this is a mind battle right now. And
Yeah.
I am determined to um, to beat this mind battle. Now, for me, in my healing, I am a little bit more sure that that keto treat can stay in my cupboard. Most people are not that way. And I
Right.
was this close yesterday to not being the kind of person that could keep that in my drawer, you know.
Right.
Um
Well,
I wrote
you could have said this real quick. Like, you could have said, "Well, it's not even the first yet.
not
Like,
even
I've
the
got one more
first.
day," but you were gonna start
Yeah,
a day early.
right.
So, you did.
Yeah,
But you could have said, "It's not even the
it's
first yet."
not.
I could
I don't have
yeah.
to start. Nobody'll know. Nobody'll know
Yeah.
what I put in my mouth here. It's completely clean ingredients. Nobody'll know. I'm having a hot flash, so oh my goodness.
It's your headache.
So yeah, it just depends on where you are. The biggest thing is you got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
There are so many people, and our clients included in this, of, oh, I can handle a cheat day. Oh, I deserve this. They talk themselves in and out of victory every single day. I believe it was Terrence who said this yesterday. I wrote it down and I thought, how am I going to give him credit when I don't even know his name? So I didn't post it on Facebook. Self-sabotage. Listen to this.
Ooh,
I've got to figure out how to recreate this because it was so
okay.
brilliant. It was so strong and true. People self-sabotage. We have clients come to us every day. Monica, I self-sabotaged.
Yes.
You didn't self-sabotage. That is an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Self-sabotage is an excuse.
That's a
You
harsh.
chose not to lose weight that day. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't self-sabotage. You
Yeah.
chose not to lose weight that day.
Well, it's similar to,
Mic drop.
it's similar to, when we know something's a habit of ours.
Mhm.
Like, it's no longer a habit
No.
if you have recognized it.
Exactly. It's an excuse.
Once you've recognized it, now it's an excuse to do the same repetitive habit that you have, and you're not willing to get rid of it. Those are
Right.
really hard words to hear, but it's reality. Like, it's one of those where you need to hear it.
Yeah, you do need to hear it because you have the opportunity to stop that cycle. You, in your power, hold the keys to whether you lose weight or not. Period.
Yeah.
Minus hormonal imbalances, and 90% of hormonal imbalances are bad choices that we're making.
Yeah.
Very rarely do we have somebody who is tracking 100%, weighing their food, knowing exactly what they're putting in their body, and actually being honest about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, 10% of it probably is the hormonal, but 90% is choices that we're making that we are, maybe we're on plan 80% of the week, and then we sabotage and choose to throw the weekends away. You're not going to lose weight that way.
You just rolled on back of all that hard work that you did.
All the hard work. And so you're exhausted, stressing yourself out, tracking your food, and then the weekend you don't track and you blow it. You're
That's why
choosing
I
to
think
do that.
That calories in, calories out movement is not ideal because you're going to the gym and you're working hard and you're not even burning what other calories that you had before then with the donut in the morning.
Right.
Oh, I'm just going to work this off, or I'm going to work out and then I'm going to have that later. You're doing nothing but staying where you are or gaining because it's more than what you're burning. Like, you can be at the gym all day and still not burn what you need to for those cheat days.
Right. I have some 12-month clients. I open my calendar up. By the way, I have 3 of them graduating, so I will have a waiting list for my 12-month group. I only take a certain amount every year because I focus and I hone in on those people. But I have had several go through that program, get to month 6 and be like, I've screwed around with you for 6 months. Now I'm ready to get serious. And they only have 6 months left in their program.
Right.
Stop screwing around. Stop screwing around and let's get to business. Let's get our stuff done.
Yeah.
But weight regain sometimes is intentional, an intentional problem of I'm going back to my old eating style. And then sometimes it's scientific. And if you have crashed your metabolism because you've been on a starvation diet or you've been on the shot, you got to do science. Okay. It is something that is not your fault that you can eat what you thought is a healthy amount. Some of you are down to 800 calories, 1,000 calories a day. When you come off that shot or when you stop buying their products, you're gonna gain at least 3 pounds a week back just with normal science and normal calories, just the math alone. So some of you need to give yourself a break and say, okay, I did this thing the wrong way. I took a couple of shortcuts. I wanted to get this weight off. I did not take time to heal my brain. I didn't take time to heal my spirit. And now I'm ready to come off of this. I lost the weight. So I healed my body, didn't heal the other 2 things. And now what do I do? Because I know, I mean, if you have any sort of common sense or, basic math, you'll understand how that weight is coming back, right? And it's coming back. I remember sitting at Grace College and thinking, God, if you just take this weight off, I will never, ever put it back on again. Well, he took the weight off, right? But if I don't have the math down, if I eat the way I used to, it's all coming back. But then the calories do matter. So, Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading. Sorry, I was
Oh,
reading.
it's so true, Gail.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. And I get angry at the companies who do this to people. It's abuse and it should be illegal.
Yes.
But I get so sad for people because I was there and like Darcy said, wanted to laser the fat off my body, and I would have done
Mhm.
it and I told God, I promise I will never put it back. Promise, 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 I will never put it back. And then here we are, you don't have to regain the weight. And I think
No.
that's why it's important to understand the science behind, what we put in our bodies. I gave
Yeah.
the story a couple weeks ago about how apples made me gain 20 pounds. Wasn't the apples, my friend. It was the addict brain that was woken up again and the food noise that had come back again. And I ate more than I should have.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
So, any questions? Is there any questions that we can answer? We can talk a little bit about the reverse diet. So when you're on
Mhm.
the shot or when you're on a starvation diet like Optavia and you come to us with eating 800 to 1,000 calories, we have you track your food for 4 weeks. We do nothing but track food. So it's a very long, intense program that is frustrating for a lot of people because they're like, well, what are you going to do? What's happening right now? Why aren't we doing something different? All I want to know is how much you're eating. So you average
Mhm.
your calories out and um, you're eating say 800 calories every day for the 4 weeks. That's your TDEE. That is how much for the rest of your life it's going to take for you to maintain that weight, 800 calories. So let's say you go to Texas Roadhouse and let's say you get a salad. The grilled chicken salad is over 1,300 calories alone. So you think you're eating healthy. Well, you're eating that 1,300 calories every day. It takes 3,500 calories to gain a pound. So do the math. Do that every couple days and you get the math there. So what we have to do is we have to put you on a reverse diet from the 800 calories. So every week we bump it up strategically. And you're weighing for me every day, you're getting on that scale, you're giving us the average. If that average stays the same, I bump you up about 76 calories. If it goes up, if you gain weight, then we got to do a different plan. Every week your macros change, right? And
Yeah.
so we put you on a reverse diet. For our GLP-1 clients, we also put you on a natural GLP-1 indicator so that you will heal your gut at the same time and you won't have that food noise come raging back. So we put you on a natural GLP-1 and then we do a reverse diet. And then we titrate you off of the shot.
Yep.
Apples. I realized I hate them after 9 years of never eating them.
Your palate changes, that's for sure.
Yeah. Gail was on
Yeah.
Optavia and gained back, and that is the majority of
Yeah.
that is the only weight loss company that I have zero tolerance for. And I will call them out every time because I just think it's abuse. And it feeds an eating disorder. I've had clients come to me that could not put those bars down full of soy. They couldn't put them down.
Right.
They thought that was the only way that they were going to lose weight was with those stupid bars. Oh, it makes me mad.
That's what I thought when I joined my MLM company.
Yeah.
Like
Me too.
those pills were the only thing that was going to make me lose the weight.
Me too.
Not factual.
Not at
Yeah.
all. Not even with the natural GLP-1.
Yeah.
Not even with that. That is
Right.
not your all. That's only a tool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I would say,
So
can I? I'll finish what I was gonna say.
yeah.
About where I am now, like since going carnivore,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and since going carnivore and eliminating the things and being a lot more strict with myself because I'm keeping it simple. I don't.
Yeah.
Yes, I might want to eat a jar of peanut butter, but I don't do it because I know it's not going to serve me well. And I have a goal in mind, and it's a long term goal. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
where I am. I'm not going to be carnivore for the rest of my life, but I
Mm-hmm.
know that I will know how to balance things out a lot better
Mm-hmm.
for myself. But in that process, I'm losing weight. Like
Mm-hmm.
my weight was stuck at
Yeah.
this one stinking number for about a year.
Yeah.
And then after I started and I tried fasting, it would move, but then it would
Yeah.
come
You
back
came
up. Like
back.
it was not a keep off weight. It was like yeah, you can weigh less because you're not eating anything. Um, and I also followed the ageless keto, and I loved that because that balanced me out 100%. Like, I feel fantastic when it comes to my cycle. But with carnivore, that's where my weight was moving, and I feel like I'm eating a lot more calories than I was
Mhm.
before.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
fact, I am. I am eating a lot more calories than I was
Mhm.
before, and I'm losing. So to me, um, this is a great reset for me.
Mhm.
And in my point of saying of this is you get through certain stages in your lifestyle change, your health style change, where you might have to shake some things up, and that's why we bring up these different tools. I think fasting works for some people. It didn't
Mhm.
really work for me. I didn't like it. I like to eat.
Yeah.
Um, and
It felt like an
with
eating disorder to
it
me.
did. It did. I like the benefits when you are focused on long fasts and what it does
Mhm.
to your senescent cells and your um and your stem cells, things like that.
Yeah.
I love that part of fasting. I
Yeah.
love that our bodies are able to heal themselves. But I think with carnivore, you naturally do a fast. Like you
Mhm.
do, it's a short fast, but your body naturally does a fast.
Mhm.
I think with keto, I think it's great because you're able to enjoy God's nature that He's provided for us during the certain seasons that they're being grown. Right now, it's readily available for you at
Mhm.
24 hours, 7
Right.
days a week, and it might not be in season. So
Right.
that I think can be a downfall. But I think in the end, there's different tools for different seasons that you're in, and
Yeah.
I'm drawing closer to a more primal type of thought mindset of having my protein, building my muscles, um, and maintaining my muscles while being able to during the seasons having my strawberries when strawberries are in season,
Mhm.
having my tomatoes when my tomatoes are in season, things like that. That's kind of where I
Mhm.
am, but um, I feel great.
Yeah.
Moral of the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. That is exactly it, and I think, the commonality again with all of that is whole foods. So,
Yes.
wherever you are in your, in your lifestyle, for me, I can't have apples. It awakens the addict brain. I can't. I understand that. I'm okay with that. Everything is good. Everybody's in a different place, but
Yes.
primal eating really is the commonality with all of these health styles. It's what is in season. Does it come with a nutrition ingredient list? If it comes with an ingredient list, it doesn't come in my house. I mean, I'm to
Right.
that point when the more I learn about these chemicals and even these dyes, I thought, oh, dyes like natural flavors, right? No, dyes
No.
are antifreeze.
Yeah.
Seed
Yeah.
oils. It was funny because I got on a seed oil kick last week, and somebody was like, well, I only use olive oil and butter in my house. And I I said, honey, I want you to go to your cupboard. I want you to pull out the salad dressing you use. I want you to pull out those boxes in your cupboard. What's in there? Oh, canola oil,
Yeah. Yeah.
vegetable oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So regain does not have to be a problem. It doesn't have to be a problem if you're honest with yourself. And that's the biggest thing, is being honest with yourself. Um, be Well, how do these foods impact you, right? I loved what Angie said here. I posted up here. If you bite it, you write it. That is huge. It was funny. I was working with a client one time. He's probably listening right now, but we were talking about peanut butter. I have a peanut butter client, just like you, and and I'm like, "How much of that are you eating?" "Oh, just a couple tablespoons. Just a couple tablespoons." I said, "How much did you go through this week?" "Well, I started with this Costco jar and it's empty." I said, "That's a lot more than a couple tablespoons."
Yep.
And so, if you bite it, you write it. That is so true. When you're honest with yourself, those bites, licks, and tastes really do add up. So,
Yep.
here's a couple things before we go. If you happen to watch this today on the live and it's before 6 o'clock, so if you're watching it on replay at 7 o'clock, sorry for your luck. It's too late for you. If you're
Yep.
watching it now, you want to get into the carnivore group, I will allow you in up until our live session. You have to attend our live session tonight. You can come up to probably 5 o'clock because our live session is at 8 o'clock tonight,
Yeah.
Eastern time. So probably until 5 o'clock, I will allow enrollments. If the link does not allow you to enroll, message me and I will put you in the back door. Okay, because I think I did close it. So if you want to become a part of the carnivore group for the next 30 days, typically people lose about 20 to 25 pounds during that time. We don't
Yes.
like the men because the men lose a lot more. But if you want to be a part of that group, please. I knew the peanut butter guy was watching. I knew it. I knew it. Oh, gosh. So if you want to, please message us. We will get you in 30 days. If you are struggling and you just need somebody to walk through your journey with you, if you are on a GLP-1, if you're on something like Optavia, please contact us. We have a GLP-1 recovery group, recovery program where we will reverse your diet. We will make sure that you're not gaining that weight back. Don't sit in the shame. There's a lot of shame that comes around that shot. You have no shame. There should be no shame. We understand. We get how you feel of wanting this weight off of your body. We get you. We were there with you. So there's no shame. Shove off the shame and be vocal about how you're feeling, because we don't want you to gain the weight back. And so we have a GLP-1 recovery group that is intended for you to stop this weight regain. If you are on something like Optavia, please contact us. Let us know, first of all, if you are on that, if you are on the shot, or if you are on Optavia or starvation diet of like Optavia. I'm going to come up with another name for it. Yes. But if you're on that product, you have to tell us you're on it, because there is no way this program will work if you'll actually gain weight, because you've destroyed your metabolism and you've killed it, and we've got to repair it first. Okay. So please tell us that you're on it before you enroll in a program of ours, because that'll make life a lot easier for you and for your coaches who are wondering why the heck you're not losing weight. All right. We're here every Tuesday. Oh, we had a podcast drop this morning about insulin resistance. So check that out. Beyond the Scale. I posted somewhere in the comments, I posted the link to our podcast. And I also posted a link if you want to become a coach. We don't have a link if you want to be in the carnivore, but message us and we will get you that link and we'll put you in the secret door.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Anything else? I know we've got a lot of, I'm over here in the carnivore group and we've got a lot of people talking in here.
Yeah.
And so, yep.
I was doing this whole thing by myself and now I got people.
I know. I am so excited. I needed my people yesterday.
I know.
So I had steak and eggs this morning for breakfast.
Nice. I'm hungry.
Time to eat.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Join us every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let us know if you need anything. We're here for you. And we'll be back next Tuesday.
Toodles.
Take care. Monica here. Guess what? If you're fed up with feeling stuck in your battle with weight or food, I've got something just for you. Check out our free Facebook groups. Over at Food Addiction and Recovery, I'm over there waiting for you. We're going to walk this journey together. It's about getting real, sharing our stories, and lifting each other up. We're in this together every step of the way. And if you're curious about changing your life with keto, the Weight Loss Project is where you want to be. Coach Darcy is amazing. And together, we're not just talking about losing weight. We're talking about finding a happier, healthier you. So, what do you say? Are you ready to join us? The links are in the show notes below, and I'm telling you, this is more than an invite. It is the